Govan, of course, this is a very important year for the ANC. They're going to elections, the elective conference in December, but also this shows that the gloves are really off now.
It does indeed, and the ANC holding a crucial ANC NEC over the last 2 days and now going into that NEC Lekgotla. The president, as we understanding, delivering the opening address. And later we're expecting some inputs from the alliance, that'll be the SACP and COSATU. They've already raised some serious concerns in that National Working Committee document to the NEC. And of course, there have been some fireworks with calls for Lindiwe Sisulu, the tourism minister, to be referred to the Integrity Commission. That decision hasn't been made yet. We will know that decision once the report of the NEC is out, but there is a strong lobby for her to be referred there. But it's some of the other contents of the NWC's document to the NEC that's more concerning. Now seeing the president, Cyril Ramaphosa's vision for the party in the next 5 years starting to become much clearer. He's proposed a renewal commission which will set out what the ANC will look like in 10 years' time and also what the country will look like. And the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, and the top six, the NWC, wanting guidelines for the renewal commission to be developed ahead of the national conference in December for adoption, and essentially creating another strong arm of the ANC under his watch, which would implement his vision. I mentioned this because one of the other proposals is setting up this task team headed by Jeff Radebe, Ronald Lamola and Joel Netichenze to look at the implementation of the state of capture reports outcomes, but also look at which section of that report should be referred to the Renewal Commission after implementing what the report says needs to be implemented. A clear sign that this Renewal Commission would be the strengthening of the President Cyril Ramaphosa's hold on the ANC and his vision for the party as the rival faction tries to grab hold of the ANC's positioning and where it should go ahead of the conference this year.
So, Govan, we know that the likelihood of Sisulu being on the agenda and that ask for her to go to the Integrity Commission is going to be on the agenda. And also, as you said, the State Capture Commission of Inquiry report. What else do you think will be on the agenda?
The alliance has raised some serious concerns regarding how the ANC is interacted with it, essentially repeating an earlier claim that the ANC is no longer governing, that bureaucrats within government have found ways of undermining the political principles and then avoiding the implementation of ANC policy. There are a number of examples we could point to, but the most stark one would be the non-implementation of the multi-year wage agreement in the public sector that COSATU has been very critical of, and that COSATU has hoped the ANC would call the government to order on and tell the government to follow the ANC line. Instead, the government went to appeal its obligation to pay the third year of that agreement, and right now the talks between the government and unions in the public sector are also at one of the lowest points since they started, with a little faith between them. So that is bound to be a very intense discussion, with the Secretariat from the Alliance expected to draw up a program of action of how they'll engage with each other differently in this year. And the ANC will be hoping to do exactly what the Alliance wants them to do ahead of the conference, to consolidate that support, particularly the President, as he seems to be heading towards the conference, facing a contest likely from Lindiwe Sisulu, but still with the branches in his corner to a large extent. And when you look at what the report from the NWC says to the NEC regarding the preparations for the provincial conferences and regional conferences, it's concerned that the situation in Gauteng is not improving regarding the holding of regional conferences. And the Eastern Cape, it knows they're going to a conference in March. And then in the Free State, it's commended some of the work of the IPC in taking that province to court, into conference, as well as in the Northwest. And in the Northern Cape, only one region outstanding. And then in the Western Cape, it's also highlighted that very little work is happening in the Western Cape, where there are no branch general meetings taking place. So there are some pockets of concern, but when you look at where those pockets of concern are, it's clear that the president may not be going into a conference with a walkover victory, but he still holds significant support going into it.
All right, Govan Whittles, thank you very much for that report.